Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first of our hype videos, I guess, but really this is the list review for the UK and Ireland Masters 2024. I am Lucky Sixes. This is Hyper G.
It is the Hyper G for the hype video. It always happens every year. I always make that reference, and it is not getting any better. So
Super
yeah,
hyped. G. This guy.
yes,
Um,
absolutely.
Yeah, very excited to be here for to look at the lists. Obviously, we've got just over a week now to go till the Masters starts, and excitement is boiling.
It really
The
is.
lists were out a good few days ago, actually. I think earlier this week. So we're a little bit
Yeah.
late, but it gives
Eh,
people a
eh,
chance to have a little gander at everything
yeah.
and
Because
see what.
obviously they can't make their actual conclusions until our opinions have been given.
No,
Like anything they thought about in the last few days is irrelevant compared to what we're going to say, because that's what's
yes,
the real information. You know.
absolutely. There are murmurs going
Yeah.
around on whether they're good, bad, ugly lists, whatever, but this is the final say.
It
The
is.
first
It's
say?
the
I
only
don't know.
say, the
It's
only
the
one
only
that
say, right?
matters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From the
exactly.
experts of,
Indeed.
I don't know what we're
Yeah.
experts of, but we're experts of something, and that matters, okay?
Well, you claimed two accolades last year that made you more of an expert than we were the previous years. You know, you've
I
been to Masters yourself now, and you've been to
Masters and
ETC,
ETC,
Team
yeah.
England. I mean,
So,
what a year!
yeah, goodness
So,
me.
and I'm just tagging along as usual.
Absolutely. You're hype to G.
Yeah, good.
Anyway.
Not. Yes. Let's
Um
do it.
let's do it, shall we? We'll look at the lists for
And a bit of the
the
people.
and a bit of the people as well.
Mm.
So yes, we have Mr. Andy Catlow first. One of his first Masters, at least since we've been doing it, which is a bit
Yeah.
like how like football never existed before the Premier
Since
League.
records began. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah,
At least
right.
for our era. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
Anything that
Alan,
happened pre-Premier League just didn't count.
yeah, absolutely. Alan Shearer's still the best scorer ever, even
Yeah,
though there was like 90 years before him where records
yeah,
were. But yeah, so this is so Andy has never gone to a Masters as far as
absolutely.
my records show, but
Yes.
which is ever in the grand scheme of things. I'm sorry if you won it before that, like Nav, etc.
Yeah,
That's
you won it
before
10
my
years in a row,
records.
for goodness
Yeah,
sake. No.
that's before the real coverage starts. Anyway, Andy's here. We've got this lovely card here, looking very serious, but
Mm,
very good
mm,
quality. So thank you. We've got all different pictures for everyone as well this year, so that's very
yeah,
good. Um,
great.
he, of course, has had a pretty good year, winning Art of War.
It was a good
Is
start.
his main thing, and really set him up for a pretty consistent year. Uh,
Mm,
over the course of things. Not just Vermin Swarms, although he's taken Vermin Swarms to the Masters, took UD and Dread Elves, I think, as well.
yeah,
So he's done it all. So there was a bit of up in arms of what is he going to take? Is
it
Andy going
was
to?
a bit of a mystery what he would finally submit at the
But
Masters, but
yeah,
he's gone with the
Vermin
Vermin,
Swarms for
who
this,
are
and
like last year's holders of the Masters,
they are. Maybe
you know.
that's the thing.
So, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I mean,
play it while it's strong. Got a bit nerfed and then is back again. I feel
well,
from the updates,
potentially,
and
yeah,
maybe that's the thing of jumping on them. But let's look at his list. So he
indeed.
has two sacred platforms in terms of swarm priests. There,
Yeah.
thaumaturgy and witchcraft is a good selection. The vermin general,
Hmm.
house prefect with Giselle.
Mhm.
Three Dustblade assassins, gonna be brutal.
That's going to be a running theme of Furman's, I think, forever until
Yeah,
that
well,
points
yeah,
changes.
forever. In terms of core, he's got three big blocks of Black Furs, Legionnaires, and Legionnaires. There, eight Murmillo brutes, which is cool.
It's pretty brutal for the brutes, isn't it? Really, yeah,
Mm.
like it. It's
And
cool they've
then
got Giselles too. That's nice.
yes, right. So they're the shooting big monstrous
Yeah,
cav
I know.
things. Very
It
very
just
cool.
it just remind like makes me think of just it's just funny seeing a massive beast shooting something. It's like
Yeah.
that's not really what they're meant for.
No,
Yeah.
but hey, they're all strength six though, right? The Giselles.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or something like that. Which
So
we know, we're the experts. We're going to say they are.
we know. Yeah. So even if this is wrong, this is what they're
Yeah,
strength 6 probably.
yeah, I
Then
know.
we got another big look of Plague Disciples with Blood Plague blades as well. Some chaff in the giant rats. Some more Jezzails. So going the Jezzail route.
Yeah,
And then
let's sit
some
that
Scorch
way.
It ordnance. So the
Ah, Giselle's a strength
catapults.
5. Ah!
Oh, first thing wrong.
Yeah.
That's the only. Yeah. Anyway,
But we were factoring in Trial and Terror that gives them +1 to
of
wound,
course, of
obviously,
course.
which
So
is
he'll
effectively
always do
strength
that.
6. So we were
Yeah.
right, really. Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, got a decent amount, but even if it's just the strength 5 route, which I imagine he will take the extra strength, but even if
Yeah.
it's just that, he's got a decent amount of high strength and high AP. I think.
Yeah,
Shots.
even the
So
spears on the block is nice as well.
so plenty of
So,
AP, plenty of bodies in this.
yeah.
And then the Scorcher Ordnance to even tip over the factor in terms of bodies as well to whittle people down. I quite like it. I like
I
the
do.
idea of the Miller Brutes in there shooting. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough for some elite of the elite units
Mm.
armies that are in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it can do both. It can do the shooting or it can do the fighting, and it covers a lot of bases, I think.
Yeah, and I think with the objectives being your standard objectives as well, I think it's going to be pretty strong on most of them, even if it does have to stay in a bubble relatively. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
a
And
strong
obviously,
start for the Masters. Not something that's wild and wacky, but certainly is strong. This is a good
very strong.
strong start for me,
Yeah.
and he's a solid player with a solid year behind him as well. I think Andy's been a solid player consistently throughout my Ninth Age experience,
Yeah.
but it's good that he's got it all together for this year and got to the Masters. So well done.
Yeah, definitely. A contender, as we might say for all of them, but
Well,
definitely a contender.
Was it 1 in 16th chance, maybe?
Yeah.
But perhaps a little bit more with that list as well.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Mr. Josh Burns, who is Team Scotland this year. Moved from England to Scotland. Has consistently over the last 2, maybe in 3 years, been in the top places at tournaments and a very good singles player, a very good Sylvan player, and I guess this year, and I don't know whether you'll mind me saying, it'd be nice that Artem's
he doesn't have a choice.
A tournament, right?
Yes, because he is Mr. Sylvan now.
Bossing it. Artem obviously finished number 1 in the rankings, so this is a time for Josh to shine, right?
Yeah, without Artem's Sylvans. Yeah,
Artem Shadow is not there. This is Josh's tournament, right? To take.
Could be. Yeah. Are you waiting for Josh to reply? Because he's not on this call,
Josh?
Yeah.
So what has he got? He's got the 3 druids, master, apprentice, and apprentice. So there's a fairly standard setup for
spreading out the paths, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, Silver. It's very strong, double strength buff, all the druidism things, and a little bit extra to go with it. Druidism, such a crazy lore now with Master of Earth. I know I say now. It's been like that for about a year and a half, but
yeah.
but yeah. Then he's got the 2 forest princes, one both in the Pathfinder unit, which is I find really cool. I think just been running this like shooting thing for a little while, so it's not like it's something he knows very well. Although I'd say he knows most of the Sylvan book pretty well.
I would say
a
so.
lot of things. So yeah, he's got a Bow of Wiskin BSB. Of course,
yeah,
it's very
Bow of Wiscon's very popular for obvious
like,
reasons.
It's like the bolt thrower one, isn't it? It's like hitting on a 2+ bolt thrower.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Anyway, 19 Sylvan Archers, 11 Heath Riders with Predator Pennant, 15 Forest Guard, which I know he's been using pretty well and effectively in his things, and they're, even though there's 15 of them, I think it's a pretty good objective scorer.
Objective grabbers, I think. Yeah.
Dryads, The 9 huntsmen, so one big unit rather than multiple small ones. I guess you get the numbers up there just so that they can take a midget missile every now
Take
and then.
it. Yeah, take one or two and then still
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah, and then they've still
Yeah,
got like 24 hits. So,
of course.
Blade
Yeah.
Dancers, of course, with Druidism, very good mix. 4 Forest Eagles as a
I bet you're
unit.
pleased to see that, weren't you? A
Yeah,
unit of Forest Eagles.
always nice to have a unit of Eagles. I don't know whether
Yeah.
he's played that before, the reason behind that, but I'm very
Hmm.
intrigued by this unit, and I want to see. Especially on the live streams, which of course we're doing, guys. I want to
Yeah.
see how he uses it. I think despite all the good stuff in his list, that's the one I'm most intrigued of.
Yeah.
To how he can win games, and then Brian Maidens to finish off, not with the
Mm.
champion, but just for a bit of
No.
shooting and chaffness,
A
I
bit of
guess.
pesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, I like
uh,
it. I think it's a classic Josh list
it
in
is.
that Josh never takes the same list for long, but he always takes Sylvans. And if there ever was an expert, like Atom or not, Josh is always going to be the Sylvan Elf expert, I think. It will always be played exactly how Sylvans will want to play, so
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing and he'll use that to his advantage on this
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah, totally, and he's had some good results as well, some podiums this year, and it's I guess can he replicate that and or go one further at the biggest stage, right?
It is, yeah.
So
No reason why he
takes
can't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That takes us on to our next player,
Contender.
and a contender for sure,
Yeah,
for
some
multiple
are saying
reasons,
favourite.
I think. Mr. Edward Murdoch, with his November Tash. I'm not sure whether he's
Love it.
still got it. I hope he does.
I hope so too.
hope he will for the live streams and things.
And if
Um,
not, he's got a week to grow it back.
yeah. Absolutely. So, rocking the Orcs and Goblins as a
Mwah.
you've been doing it a little while. Move
Last couple of
between
months, last few months, yeah.
move between demons and ogres this year as well. So obviously, and also we should mention a previous master.
I was going to say that's a nice little addition to the cards there.
It is, yes.
With the crossed out
All
effect as well.
the
I'm
previous,
sure you
yes.
enjoyed putting the cross on it more than
Oh,
anything
so
else.
much, so much.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes. So what's he got in the list? He's got a goblin witch on witchcraft on a beastie. Then got an orc shaman to go along with that for the magic on a thaumaturgy master. Orc warlord with the omen of the apocalypse. I'm always going to call it that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never not changing. Props to this as well, because I feel like it's a very good item, but you do have to use your army to complement it. So I really like it, and I know that Ed's obviously a good enough player to
definitely
allow it at its fullest potential. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this, and I'm glad it's taken. 2 units of feral orcs, one with
Feral Marauders. Not
Marauders.
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 Yeah, I really want him to play that 24 unit 8 wide. I really want it to have.
I know, imagine.
For the line formation for a cavalry unit. It's superb. But I don't know if he does. I don't know if he has been.
No.
So I can't wait to find out.
So, I mean, predominantly a mounted orc list, then. Because if you've got the Reavers as well, then the veteran orc Marauders. And then chariots. So the only things that aren't mounted on there are the Nashers and the
Well, they're Nasher Dashers, so they are.
Oh, they're Nasher Dashers. So it's all. So it's only the Wrecking teams, and they kind of like.
Well, they're all over the place anyway. Yeah.
So a mounted orc and goblin list.
It's doable. Cool. It works. Yeah. I mean,
very cool.
I will not hide from the fact that I said this list was not viable a few months ago.
Okay.
Not this list exactly, but a mounted orc list was not viable. And Ed and Ali and a few others, Joe Sampson, and a few others in the orc and goblin community have been proving me wrong. And I will not hide from the fact that I originally said it wasn't viable. And Ed's taking it to Masters, so I will be very, very much intrigued how it goes, because I've had my opinion changed by their antics in the last few months. So
Have you
I'm watching this one very
seen
closely.
this army in action at all over the last
Not
few
really,
months?
not personally. I mean, I've played it once against you actually, or a version of it against you with like slightly less mounted orcs. But yeah, I'm really interested in how it's going to work, and
Yeah.
secretly cheering on Ed a little bit as well with orcs. So you know,
Those Iron Orc chariots are very, very tanky as well. So they're very
they're so good.
surprisingly so as well. So there's a few
Yeah.
little niche bits in there that I really like. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I mean lots of bodies in terms of the for cavalry anyway.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
I like it a lot. There's some murmurs about this list being pretty good as well, and one of the front runners. So
Yeah.
Ed, we know, is a very, very good player,
A
and will
superb
be
player.
there or thereabouts in most of his things. I guess whether we can have a bit of luck to
Mm.
really push as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
We will.
Moving on, and another debutant as far as the Premier League
Mm.
goes
Of course.
is Elliot Froment. I
Mm.
believe also, as far as the records go back, our first French
Oh, okay. It's a
officially.
bold statement. Yeah.
Our first Frenchie in the
No one else
Masters.
springs to mind. So yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's very cool. Also made it onto Team Wales this year for this year coming.
Great.
So very cool. He has probably my favourite list.
Well, of course, because this is just a version of a list you would play.
Yes,
You know,
I
mean, the only thing missing is a dragon, really. But
I
you
know,
know,
but you can't fit that in
it's
with.
it's the double fighty cavalry vampire, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, it screams lucky sixes all over it.
No, I'm.
Obviously, we need Elliot to confirm he got the idea from you. Obviously,
Of
but
course.
apart from that,
Yeah.
it's your list. You know,
Well,
so
if he wants
yeah.
his movement trays for the dire wolves, he'll confirm that.
Nice,
But regardless,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very very much like these two really killy vampire counts, and
Yeah.
got the magic to go with it. I think it's 5-6
Mhm.
spells. I'll say
Yeah,
5.
something like that.
Barrow Knights and Vampire Knights to put them in. Obviously got
Yeah.
the dire wolves as chaff and the skeletons as your what's it is scoring darts, I guess, with the Relentless Company. I
Yeah.
think that's how he's going to be using them.
Yeah.
He also has two Varkalax, which is very cool.
Yeah, I bet you were pleased to see them as well. To be honest, 'cause
Don't see that.
you're a
I don't
sucker for a
know.
Barkalak.
Yeah, I think he has been using them, to be fair, and I haven't
Okay.
watched any of his games when we've been around and stuff. But yeah, I really pleased to see them. But it's all about the killy vampires. They will do the work if you can deal with them, or if you cannot. That's essentially
That
what he
is the
puts that,
answer. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I like the six vampire knights as well. I'm a big fan of
Yes.
them. As you,
Yeah.
obviously, you could
Pump
have
out,
another six. I'd be
pump
happier,
out
but you know.
a lot. Yeah. More would be better. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, very, very good. It's
Yeah.
possibly my favorite list. It's definitely my top 3. In my top 3
Oh, of
from the
course.
Masters this year.
I'll remind you of that when you choose the fourth list for your top
I
3.
know. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
8 of them. Yeah. We should say as well he did use the Orcs and Goblins as a bit of a
Okay.
spin-off as well. So it's
Distraction.
got a bit of distraction as well, but also a bit of knowledge about them as well. Going into this with a few Orcs and Goblin list about there in the team tournament. So not just a vampire player, also dots about a bit. So yeah, very, very good luck to Elliot with a very cool list.
Definitely. Agreed.
Next up, while we're talking Orcs and Goblins, I guess, we have Mr. Ali P, as he wants to be known on the thing.
Highest ranked in the tournament.
Officially, he's number 2 over the year. Artem's not here, so he's the number 1 at the Masters. The man in form, 2 wins,
The man to beat,
all in the same month as well. So he has a big June for Ali. Previously has had some Masters experience and with Orcs and Goblins as well, but he'll be wanting to do better than he did before finishing 15th out of 16.
Well, I think if I remember rightly, when we were doing the coverage that 2 years ago, the very first battle that Ali had, his master went into a hole in round like the first turn of the first round or something like that, which obviously you can recover from, but it didn't give him the best start in the world.
Probably didn't help.
So
yeah.
So
so maybe he wants a bit more luck.
Maybe.
But maybe he's done that. He's changed his luck with the lister that he's bringing along. So 2 Iron Orc loners and an Orc Warlord. That's pretty
tough.
That's pretty character beef.
Look at how cheap that Iron Orc loner, the second one, is, especially. That's nasty. Yeah.
I mean, so what is that in terms of what it is? It's got a 4-up or a 2-up against non-magical range boots, so it's going to be 8/16, I think. In terms of its
plus
movement.
the Orc stuff. Yeah.
Sure, with Orc extra things, of course. Don't forget, which obviously nobody will, but they especially won't now that I've reminded them. Yeah, very very cheap, and it can definitely hold some stuff up because they're stubborn.
What, Iron Orc
loners?
Are they? Yes, they are. Yeah.
So
5 attacks if he goes paired weapons as well. So pretty good.
Definitely kill chaff and can hold up stuff. Hopefully, it will be the hope of it.
Change the battlefield by putting him in the way.
Yeah, totally. In terms of the Wyvern as well, pretty basic in terms of what he brings. Just some extra armor and some extra saves in terms of magical items, but stubborn and does a lot of attacks. So again, another flying thing is always good. The Orc of the Apocalypse.
I was wondering how you were going to fit it into that sentence. Yeah,
he's in there.
He's there too.
Yeah, I still am.
And this is a tribe leader list as well. So this is a proper Orc list. Ed squeezed a few goblins in to not make it a tribe leader list. Whereas Ali obviously has gone Orc Warlord tribe leader, and that's why he's able to get 2 loners in his list, which is quite cool. Normally you'd only be able to get 1. So,
and from this point of view, a lot more infantry with the Orc Warlord. Although the Orc Warlord's on a grunter, actually, isn't he?
Yes.
Me saying this. So they've got 2 units of Marauders. And then 2 units of Feral Orcs with bows as well. So still 60 bows coming at you, which I think is
a bit of light fire.
Good. Great Green Idol in there and some splatterers, but of course, probably the big talk of this list is the 8 trolls.
I think it's one of the big, troll toll. It's one of the big reasons why most lists, and I can't qualify that, but most lists will have some form of flaming. Because if ever there was any doubt, Ali was almost certainly always going to be Orcs for this tournament. And if someone can take a unit of trolls with some fortitude, then you probably need a bit of flaming just to make sure you can deal with it in some form. So I haven't looked at it exactly, but I reckon most lists are going to have some access to flaming somewhere. And if you haven't, then those trolls might be a problem for you.
Absolutely. And in terms of magic, it's pretty basic, but he has got those 3 other characters in there as well. So just the 4 spells. I'm trying to, as we're talking, trying to find the 5th.
Off the master. Great Green Idol has a spell.
Great Green Idol. Cool. So that's the hereditary, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll be the +1 to hit or -1 to hit. Something like whichever version the Orc has.
So not much magic, but maybe that's min-maxing, min-maxed to the max. Or min.
Indeed.
I don't know.
Or maybe it's just less chance of going down the hole. No, not really.
Not with thaumaturgy.
Depends on what you're casting. No.
But pretty solid. Some big bricks out there and some big hitters as well. So excited to see that.
Definitely. Yeah, it should be good. And like Orcs are in a good place at the moment.
Yeah.
So it'll be good.
So, moving on to the next list, and it's our very, very good friend from all the way from the Wargaming Fantasy Podcast .com, Paul Godbold, and in his the very mastersy chair there on the screen.
Well, didn't Tony, when Tony was at the Masters last year, have a picture that was also the Game of Thrones?
They did, and they've got a wonderful picture of them both together. as well,
Oh,
which will
how
come out
cute.
on the Masters live stream. So we've got a few
Okay.
extra pictures and cards coming out on the live stream. So do
Oh,
tune in
amazing.
for some extra content there. But we're here today to talk about Paul only, because Paul made it to the Masters.
He
Never
did.
been before, did it this year. Well done.
Yeah.
Obviously, helped him along with a March for Victory
Yeah, the
win,
team tournament.
the
Hmm.
team
That
tournament
Ali
win
was a
as well.
part of as well.
That
Of course.
Ali was also a part of. This, in terms of his list as well, if anybody has followed Paul this year, this is a very similar list because he was going to actually know a bit of background on this. He was actually going to choose Warriors, but the
He
Warriors
was.
army didn't come in
The
time.
models didn't arrive in time, so he
So
couldn't paint them in time.
he decided to go for a tried and tested um, list, and it's a very, very strong vampire list that it's been running for a while. So it might even be the exact same list as he went in the last tournament he
Okay.
went to in the Welsh Championships, but there might be a few tweaks in items and things. So yeah, very tried and tested. Lots and lots of magic coming at you. Got the Vampire Knights and the Vampire Spawn. I mean, he uses the Vampire Spawn very well. Big unit of Ghasts and one of each of the core infantry. I like that. He's very, using everything. Two great backs is his only chaff, although he does obviously as a vampire have raised dead.
Yeah.
And the Banshee in there,
roaming around.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a big skeleton unit with all the characters and then all the other units, which is very good to see. And he plays it very well, and certainly has my backing this year as a fellow podcaster. Well, content creator, I should say. But yeah, and obviously a good friend that comes down our club as well. We play him quite a bit. Looking forward to seeing how Paul. He's a very good player. I think he's going to surprise a few people with this tournament.
And I believe he's doing some player interviews, hopefully, if he gets the chance.
Yes.
Other players in the Masters. So check those out on the podcast of Fantasy Wargaming.
Yes.
No, Wargaming Fantasy Podcast is the actual title, right?
Fantasy Wargaming Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yes, lots of things over there, and maybe even some on the Amateurs Adventure as well. So go check those content creators out. In fact, actually, while we're here, what a good time would be to show the information to everyone. Pretty much the halfway stage. We've kind of gone through a decent amount of lists.
I can't count to 8, so I don't know if we're halfway.
Yeah. Here is the schedule so far. So not as much stuff. However, there are lots of interviews and things going around. And of course, we've got this, which you're watching now, the list review.
Yeah.
We have the round 1 draw next week. And then the live coverage all weekend.
It begins.
And I'm not scared to say it should be the best quality live stream we've ever done.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the last couple of years we just get better and better, right?
Exactly, and it's all down to us not scrounging off the venue, and that's all. However, so that's go and check us out on those things. Go and check Fantasy Wargaming Podcast. Go and check Amateurs Adventure, and we will have many guests in the live stream, including, of course, the one, the only Matty P. Along with us.
Too right. Any time I spend with Matty P is quality time.
Yes, so we're going for a 3-way this year
with others. There will be others joining us as well. So can't wait.
A little orgy of wargaming pundits.
Yeah,
maybe not a literal orgy. I'm not sure.
We don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. There's some good equipment there. That's all I'm saying. Yes.
Move on.
Yes, let's move on to good luck, Paul. Move on to Guillaume, who is sitting on, I think, an ice or a pale killer whale.
Iceberg.
I'm not sure.
Well, could be.
Yeah. The angle's not great. What he's doing on that is another thing, but anyway.
Yes.
Demon Legions for Guillaume has taken a mix of demons and ID this year, and that was probably the biggest choice for him. Gone with the demons, gone with the Scourge, and the Miser. So 2 big beasties with a whole lot of other stuff in there as well. One of which being, as we've sort of mentioned, the Flaming Brazen Beasts.
Yes.
There. Myrmidons and Succubi, biggish, mediumish units. 23.
I appreciate the double 23.
Yeah, right.
That's good.
That's
good list building, that is.
It is. Eidolons for a bit of shooting, Hellhounds for a bit of chaff, and not bad attacks. Lots of attacks and stuff as well.
Do a decent job. Yeah.
The Veil Serpents with Champion, of course, such a good list.
Very good
unit for this list, and then Furies for even more chaff as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, the main thing comes from the big guys, right?
Yeah, it does. But no, I think it's a solid list. It can do decently well.
Yeah. Titan Slayer Chariot, I want to see how much it actually does. I always see it in the list and I'm always scared of it, and then how much does it actually do? Not sure.
Sure.
So that's the one I'll be looking out for Guillaume's list.
It's always the kind of thing that if it hits in the right place at the right time, it can really hurt. But otherwise, like you say.
But you know what? If Guillaume gets on the live stream, I won't be excited for his list. I'll be excited for him to be on the live stream. The charisma, the smack talk, I'm sure, and of course the supplementary drinking that will be alongside it. Very, very happy to see him in and get into the Masters. Came in last year as well. Took DL as well, and let's see if we can get better than 14th as well. So good luck.
There's every chance.
William. Next, and
another demon,
and
playing demons.
Another demon playing demon, and from the picture, I mean, it could be this could be a Corzan of Sibaresh, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, this man's coming for you, everybody. He's coming. Another man in form, and actually one that did it the hard way round in terms of winning tournaments. One online tournament, Onslaught, early on in the year, and the English champs. So was at the time he was English captain, so that's pretty apt. I think anyway. I think that worked out. But those 2 tournaments didn't quite get 30. So as you can see from the points, they didn't quite get him the 100 points. So still had to do work elsewhere. And did, of course.
Yeah.
And who would ever
never
doubt
any
him?
doubt.
And moving on to Demon Legions, has had some success with Ogres and Saurians this year. Obviously taking Ogres to ETC and doing some different Ogre lists as well. But decided against those and went for the Demons, the tried and tested. This will be, even though it's tried and tested for Hugh, it's not tried and tested at the Masters for Hugh.
No, 4 different armies in 4 years. Which is really cool. Really cool. I mean, it shows versatility. But if ever there was any expert at all the armies, it's going to be Hugh. There won't be an army he hasn't played against many, many times. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let's look at his list. He also has a Scourge, but instead of the Miser, has the Courtesan of Sibaresh. So we'll see the difference in that. Medium unit of Myrmidons, small unit of Myrmidons, and some Imps. So small Myrmidons and Imps instead of the Succubi. 3 Brazen Beasts with Insidriaca. It's a standard. It's a staple. Yeah. 6 Veil Serpents with Champion. It's a standard. It's a staple. Sirens and Furies as chaff with probably one of Hugh's. I want to say he uses it very well. Yeah, one of his traditional units that he uses is the Blazing Glory, and he uses it very well. And nice. I think that will catch some people out in terms of. I mean, the stats alone are crazy to start off with, but yeah.
Well, hopefully 15 other people will have watched this, and now it won't catch them out.
It won't catch them out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's because of us, right?
Well,
so you're welcome. You
can apologise to Hugh later.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I mean the Courtesan and Scourge is a good combo. It's been used before. I don't think there's anything too drastically out there with this list, but it is very, very solid. Similar to what we said about the most of them. Actually, it's just a very, very solid list.
Yeah. I want to know how many people are going to get caught out by the fact that the 5 Furies is on a different page.
I know. Yeah. Well, you don't have.
You've got Furies as well.
Formatting. No. But good luck, you. And we move on to the most interesting list for multiple
Oh,
reasons of the
oh,
Masters. Now,
oh.
not necessarily my favourite, although I do have a soft spot for it. But it is very
One
interesting
character.
because it
Yeah.
has one character that, I'm not going to lie, it's not the best character in the Warriors book.
Yeah, he's kind of not very well protected, but he's there. So yeah.
Now this is Tim Bocknick. This is
Yes,
uh, new captain of Scotland,
it
and
is.
known to his friends as the Master of Shenanigans. So,
Okay.
I mean, who knows what his enemies say? But what I do know is he constantly runs different lists that
Okay.
don't often have magic, so that won't phase him in this,
Okay.
and that focus on having lots of other units that move around quite quickly. So I think he
Sure.
will be very good at this list. So while
Mhm.
I'm super interested to see it on the table, and I know
Mm.
that. And Tim, I mean, what a year he's had! 2 wins,
Yeah.
the Masters Open to start the year, and the Scottish Champs, as well. Some solid other results. So he's come into it a great year. Obviously, very focused, being with Scotland as well, and
Yeah.
yeah, 2 Chosen Knight units, 2 Wretched One units, 3 Tribal Warspear Giants.
It's
which are
very
really
copy
good.
paste, isn't it? Which is really cool
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
you love it.
You know, it's simplified list building.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see the wretched ones without the reroll on movement. So you know, you get a rough couple of rolls on your random move, and
sure.
that might be an issue. But then at the same time, they're likely to be quite a throwaway unit. Dare I say? I don't know, but
Yeah, and I
you know,
don't think they're necessarily going to get in the way of anything because he's going to
no,
be able to play quite wide or tight depending
yes,
on what he wants to do. I haven't even mentioned the 21 Great Weapon Sloth Warriors, by the way,
well, absolutely, they're going
which
to be
are
beefy.
yeah tanky as man.
Mm, yeah,
But interesting to have Sloth and Banner and Relentless Company. I'll have to manage that well, but I don't doubt he will. He won't.
yeah,
Um,
he'll know what he's doing.
yeah, Tim's going to use those giants very well. I like the Tribal War Sphere in terms of spear. Sorry, in terms of the way it works with multiple wounds 2 against gigantic, I think, or large.
I don't know. I'll check. I'll check. But you're probably not wrong.
There's a yeah. So I think it can go in the barbarians and warriors if they want to as well, but I don't think he'll use them like that.
Mm,
But yeah, lots of versatility, no magic, so it should be fairly quick on the tables. It should be fairly aggressive, and props to him for taking a list like this to Masters. I'm. It's definitely one of the most interesting in terms of concepts. Um,
yeah, I mean, it is D3 wounds against towering presence, like you said. I think you
yeah,
said that.
towering presence specifically.
The only thing is, I have to say, I mean, so far in the list we've seen, there's not a massive amount of towering presence, is there? Like, we haven't seen monster mash
A
lists yet.
few scourges
Um,
that we've just seen.
few
But yeah,
sketches, yeah. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. But you know, there's
yeah.
3 giants, so they'll be able
I
to
mean,
pick
they're
their
still
targets pretty easily.
yes, still giants. They just have that
Mm,
on top of
yeah,
what they have.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, I no, I like it. Props to Tim for this, and good luck, Tim. Your
We'll
first
see how you go
Masters as records begin.
in record.
Yeah.
I'd love it as someone who's actually before the records began.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's definitely some before. Maybe even Jack Austin, our next person.
Maybe.
Who hasn't ever been to the Masters, as far as I'm concerned, and is taking an army from my own heart. I like this.
Yes. Mm.
This is one of my favourite lists in terms of I don't know how much actual punch it's got. But it's certainly maneuverable and has some like 3 chariots, both phoenixes, initiate
4 chariots with a character.
well 4 chariots if you count like just I love it. I love everything about it.
This
want
is the
it to
kind of
be,
list that you would never dare to take.
yes, it is, and Jack's not I mean not unaccustomed to taking out their lists as well.
Well, his record of armies he's taken this year shows that, because this is the first tournament that he's used Tideborne Elves for, right?
Yeah, I think he used them at one tournament
Unranked.
before.
Okay.
Possibly
Yeah.
ranked or unranked. But those were just his best 4. He did go to
Sure.
9 tournaments over the year,
Oh,
so
okay. Fair enough.
certainly,
Yeah.
um,
Could have
certainly
brought them
got about
before.
a bit. But yeah, in terms of things, it hasn't got much. I was just about to say hasn't got much magic, but he has got Master of Kenrick Tower, so that's 5
Yeah.
spells there. The Initiate as well. That's all you're going to need.
Yeah.
Yeah, super happy to see this list. I really want it to work. I want to see
A
how
lot of
much punch
lateral
it is.
movement there, isn't there?
Lots of lateral movement, and then you've got the
Mm.
Lancers and the Flame Wardens for scoring. Flame Warden's
Yeah.
going to be surprisingly good in terms of holding those objectives as well. Lance is going to just try and get there and things. And yeah, it's got one of everything which I love, and the chariots which I love.
Yeah.
And especially if they
Warden's
go
Bond on
alongside.
both Phoenix.
Yeah, yeah. So they're going to be coming back. You will still get the points for them if you kill them. They just will be annoying if they come back,
Yeah.
which they're more likely to do.
I would love Jack to keep a tally of the how many times they come back and how many times they don't.
Yeah, and whether it mattered, whether Warden Bond
Well,
mattered.
yes.
That's my
Did
own
they go
little...
on to do something?
If they always rolled 5 ups, it doesn't matter when you paid for it. But yeah, anyway. Wicked list, Jack. He assures me he's the one on the left in his picture as well. Good luck to you on your first Masters, and of course for getting into Team England this year as well.
Of course, yeah.
ETC regular, but England for one of the first times as well, I think.
Good stuff.
Good luck to Jack. Then next up, we have John Turner, and John Turner is wasn't in it originally, but with a few dropouts has made it and has come with a very John Turner or ogre list as well. 8 Bombardiers, 2 lots of Tusker Cav, 1 big Bruiser Star with some Saber-Tooth Tigers, Scraplings, and all the characters with...
all the wizards.
I'm looking at it, and it's going to be the triple...
this is the triple minus to wound. Yeah.
To wound.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a list I enjoyed playing, you know. It can really do things. And John knows his ogres very, very well. So I think he'll know exactly how to make this hurt at exactly the right times. So it's a really good list that will suit him.
Tuskers are very tanky. The Bruiser Star will be very tanky, especially with the magic on it. And the Bombardiers are interesting. I think they're very good in spamming. I don't know whether 1 unit of 8 is going to be good, but 1 unit of 8 is fairly cheap.
It'll take things out, you know.
Yeah.
It'll probably overkill what it shoots, if anything else. But that might be exactly what the point is, you know. Like everyone's tried to get rid of a chaff unit and left 1 alive, but that that 8 Bombardiers, they'll overkill a chaff unit if they need to, you know. So that's fine. Yeah,
absolutely. And he has got a bit pyro for a bit, and Thaumaturgy for extra shooting as well. The Tusker Cav, are they fearless?
Don't think so.
I was just looking at how, because he seems to be protecting pretty well against his leadership going down. I think he's only leadership 8, but he's got Banner of Discipline everywhere, and
he's got Cult Leader for an 18-inch as well.
Yeah, I've got a feeling Tusker Cav are fearless as well.
They're not fearless.
They're not fearless. Okay,
but they're not fearless.
Fair enough. Then that's probably my only worry is whether they can do it. But otherwise, it's a solid list, and it's gonna. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna lose big. Well, I think it'll either lose big or it'll be in the middles. So I don't think.
I mean, Crown of Autocracy does give a 15-inch general range, and then he's got an 18-inch reroll. So I imagine if he keeps quite close together, he'll be okay. Yeah.
But yeah, no. Good luck to John for some decent results this year and sneaking into Masters. Good work.
Yeah.
Someone that didn't sneak into Masters and doesn't normally sneak into anything, Mikey Newman. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he's a bit of a sneaker.
Perhaps.
I can't say for sure he's never snuck into anything. But we'll see. That's the big question on my mind.
That's going to be the first question if we get him on the live stream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you sneak into this live stream?
Have you snuck in? Is he here?
Please sneak in.
But so with a very different in terms of Mikey list, still vampires. So I've been vampires for a little bit. He assures me, especially with the picture, he hasn't aged at all as
No.
well. So in terms of his list, he's got Ghoul Core with some skeletons and direwolves to round it off. Is 3 monstrous revenants flying around.
Yeah, with the vampire courtiers.
Yeah, so Sangreal on them all get some plate armor. They've all
armor.
got pretty much 2 up or 1 up against
Give or
non-magical
take.
sort of thing. Yeah, so pretty much 2 up all round in terms of armor. And super maneuverable single pieces. So yeah, very interested to see how those 3 get on. And then you've got the general courtier in the skellies or wherever.
Don't go predicting where they're going to go. Because
I never do with Mikey. I once predicted he
No.
didn't have a killy vampire, and then his non-killy vampire killed my high elf general. So I don't go
Yes.
second guessing. It's all for a reason. But yeah, rounding off the list, he's got spectral hunters with a champion, so a bit of extra magic. Wraiths for some only 7. I prefer that as a 10, but don't second guess him. 8 vampire spawn and 3 vampire knights. So the small unit of vampire knights, still decent amount of attacks.
Yeah, it just teases me, really, doesn't it?
It does.
The small unit of vampire knights. Come on, you could have squeezed a few more in. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And Mikey looking taking over captaincy of England this year, and I guess the biggest question, apart from does he sneak, I don't know. It doesn't come across as a sneaker, but then not most sneakers don't, right? Is whether or not he can go that extra, because vampires, maybe that's what the revenants are there for. Vampires traditionally very, very solid, don't lose much, but can they get enough big wins to win the event? And I think players such as Mikey, a bit of experience behind him, regularly going to tournaments and being at the top end of them, can he then make that, 5th place in this previous ones? I know he did want to go to one before as well, but that's all that matters. Can he push on, really? I think that's the big question with Mikey, is can he push and really win the event?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a potential.
Cool. Next list is Mr. Ollie Mather, the Welsh Capitan in Welsh. I think.
You definitely didn't research that, but you got it spot on. Well done.
Yeah. But I just said a word with no vowels. And first time at Masters. Well done to Ollie. He had a pretty solid year with the demons, and so he's taking Infernal Dwarfs.
I know. I was waiting for we heard a lot about the unkillable Death Star, and now it's not coming to Masters. I'm upset.
I am as well. This is definitely something that I thought it'd be. But anyway, he has done Infernal Dwarfs before, so it's not completely out of the box. Does know what he's taking, and maybe it's a bit of a curveball for people looking at Ollie, thinking he's going to take demons because he's got into it. He has
unkillable Death Star.
His best tournaments have been with demons, but I know he has taken Infernals to a few other tournaments as well. Went to 9 throughout the year, so tournament first. Went through some 8th edition ones as well, so he's he knows gaming, does Ollie.
He does, yeah.
So we'll take a look at what he's got in the list. He's got the Prophet of Asheruk, General Wizard Master Occultism, the BSB on... Oh no, it's just the Breath of the Basketball. And the Lamassu Scholar. Very cool.
I like that.
Very good unit. Yeah,
I do like that model.
Changed a few times in the last few years during their beta and stuff.
Oh, that's just Infernal. Infernals.
Yeah, in general, yeah.
So,
but it's in a good place, the Lamassu, and excited to see it on the table. 2 big Infernal Warrior units.
Both blunderbusses. I'm intrigued to see that.
Yeah, both of them, and one with great weapons as well to alongside that. Some slaves, some Kadim incarnates as well. Back.
Good to see them back. Yeah.
And a bit flaming as well for those trolls. So maybe that's the thought process. Although he does have Um,
Nap the
trying to
thrower as well.
nab the throwers as well. With the Infernal Bastion and the 2 Titans in there. So yeah, a decent looking list.
I
Yeah,
always look at an Infernal list and think, oh, that's scary.
mm.
Like that's just
On paper,
attitude.
it's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
good. Yeah, yeah.
it is. It
Um,
is.
so yeah, I guess will the change to Infernal Dwarves? I say change very loosely. Will it pay off for Ollie? And good luck in your
Yeah.
first Masters, my friend.
It should be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next person is definitely not his first Masters, Mister
No.
Adam Jones, aka
Into one or
Tanker,
two. Into one or two.
with what a good list. I like the
You
Warrior
you've
Knight
always loved this list.
spam.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
with some Chosen Knights as well. He's not going all Warrior Knights. Don't
Oh
worry
no,
about it.
no, true.
A
Yeah.
bit of pride just makes them super
Well, you
tanky.
guarantee if he had 15 points more, it'd be a fourth unit
Well,
warrior
this is it.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, super tanky units. We've got Chosen Lord as well to go in one of them, or on his
Yeah.
own. To be honest, he can still
Absolutely.
punk around on his own. Sorcerer with Veil Walker as well, with all the spells. I think that's 5 spells for others. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, then in terms of core, we've got Barbarian Horseman for a bit of scoring darts. Warriors. Although he doesn't need scoring, let's be honest, with all those
No.
Warrior Knights.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
some
I
Warhammer
haven't
stuff.
seen Ledger of Souls in a warrior's army ever. But it's an item that the cultists have got available to them, and I really like it. I consider it in the cultist thing.
When you lose
When a model
wounds,
goes down within 9 inches, you get a Veil token,
yeah,
which is really cool. I think that'll be really interesting to see how that goes, because it's not easy to get rid of all these warrior knight models. So to
no,
get rid of one warrior knight, and then to give your opponent a Veil token, that's really nice. I like that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a solid list. Tanker does like these sorts of lists as well, and I think will do very well. Whether or not there is quite a few lists with high AP though floating around.
It is possibly a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, but not much alchemy from what I saw, so that's gonna help him out a bit.
Yes.
I actually can't remember anybody taking alchemy.
No,
so
I can't.
So maybe it's quite a good meta call in terms of Tanker,
Maybe.
but we don't ever have to say good luck to Tanker because he certainly doesn't need it. What we will do is
I'll say it instead. Good luck, Tanker. I'll say it. There you go. We've covered ourselves.
Yeah. And
wouldn't want him feeling unloved. So
it will certainly be up there and thereabouts with I say one of my favourite lists in terms of the Warriors. I think they're so strong.
Yeah, that'd be good.
From one very good player to another.
I bet this is one that you enjoyed putting the cross on, especially.
Oh, I should put
because you remind
crosses,
him every 5 minutes,
shouldn't I? Because we did cover Masters 1 year before this, and of course he was first in that as well. So he is no stranger to the Masters, or even going that extra step and winning it as a previous Master. Didn't come last year because he had marriages and stuff.
Marriages, plural.
Well, I don't think so. Again, I only know of one, but maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, there's not much else to say about Craig and stuff in terms of how good a player he is. We've said it.
Yeah.
There,
got lucky against me, but
got lucky against you.
Yeah.
But also another one in terms of I guess records for this year. The only person to get a ranking score that counts with an auxiliary book.
Ah, interesting.
That's a long stat. I didn't think it would be that long in my head.
Okay.
But yeah, it took Makar to the mids and came high enough that it counted towards a score. So well done. That's a nice thing. Changes lists like the Wind.
Yes.
Doesn't have much practice with them. Still does it. Still gets really good at them. Kind of hate you for that. And there's no change to that format with his Masters list.
Yeah, so you hate him for that. And I have a slight disgruntlement for the fact that he's continued to make Saurians look like they're good. That's annoying because they're not. But Craig just. Grr! But anyway, this isn't. At least he's not taking Saurians to Masters, so I can relax.
So we can both agree. We both kind of hate him, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of the list, the first of the vermin swarms, and there is another. Don't worry. With the ruinous dictator in.
Yeah.
So there's that. The avatar of Udius as well.
The same build as the list we haven't seen yet, actually.
Yes, it is.
Two of them have got the exact same build. So it shows that's a good choice.
Yeah. Tomb Swarm Priests, Venomous Senator, 3 Duskblade Assassins.
Standard.
Only one bell.
Yes.
Sacred Platform, sorry. From what I can see. And then we've got the 35 Black Fur Veterans. Is it enough? It's not, in terms of vermin, it's not a big unit. But is it?
No. But I think, as we'll see with the rest of the list, if you get to it, then you've probably done well.
Yeah, very true. Very true. 3 units of vermin Velites. Velites?
I call them Veletes for the old...
Veletes. Oh, okay.
Total War Rome. Okay.
2 units of Fire Rats, baby.
Yep.
4 Miller Brutes. I've never seen Fire Rats, that's why I'm excited.
They're really cool. I think if you kill them, they do a flaming attack back to you before they die. It's nice. It's really cool. Yeah, I had to look that up because I hadn't seen them either.
Yeah. 4 Miller Brutes with no shooting. They're just there as a punchy. 3 Doom Spark devices, which I quite like as a concept for vermins. So nice to see them in. 2 units of Ignifier Grenadiers.
Which are just filth.
Yeah,
Grenadiers. Yeah.
That I'm not happy to see in the list.
I mean, this whole list is filth. Let's be honest, but
it's. I mean, MSU baby, right?
Oh yeah. I don't want to say that Craig's going to be running rings around people, but this is the kind of list that would suit that style.
Yeah. I quite like as well that the general is the most expensive thing in the whole entire thing. The ruinous dictator, because that makes sense, right? As well,
it does.
Yeah. But yeah, and then Shadow for Stalkers to round them off. It's gonna be avoiding and not at the same time. You and should do think with what is a very good player in Craig.
Yeah. I would love to set Craig a challenge. I want him to be in combat with a unit by a turn 2. Or earlier.
Never going to happen.
If he could do that, then I'll have a bit more respect. But
I want to know what those numbers are. Anyway, good luck, Craig. UK Rocky, ex-master. Can he... Well, I guess he is kind of triple master anyway, but can he get official?
I'm sure he can.
I'm sure he can too. Good luck. Which takes us on to our last, unformatted, but our last list. And by no means, best till last, I guess, we should have to say, as the current master of the UK and Ireland.
Yeah. And he's done it in glorious style by just not, apart from the Celtic Clash, obviously, not coming to many tournaments.
Yeah, he said he was devastated when he realised that Celtic Clash was ranked. Because he wanted not to be in any ranked tournament this year and just to come. Yeah. Which, just that one tournament did get him up to 72 in the rankings. So
very good. Very good.
But yeah, of course, the
so I actually finished higher than him. Yes! Sorry, just slip that in. You can edit that out.
Yeah, that's fine. Definitely not. But yeah, on to Kieran's list. So, previous master, we bow down to you. What have you taken? You've got the Ruinous Dictator in there as well.
Yeah.
With the same thing. So, he is the general. He is the avatar of Udis. He's got a Swarm Priest on a platform. Then a Swarm Priest just on foot. Then House Prefect Giselle, guy. 2 big units of Black Furs,
They're big.
45 and 44. Big unit of slaves, 2 massive unit of Miller Brutes. One, we've seen both of them, but not both together. So we've got the Jezzails and the Fighters. A drill team, and then some experimental
rotary
teams.
guns.
So, I mean, it is pretty nice to see 3 well, I guess not completely different, but fairly different vermin lists in there.
Yeah.
There's not like a standard thing with them, which is cool.
They're different enough, aren't they? Yeah. So.
Yeah, and we've got Block E and we've got MSU as well. So interesting to see them how they all do. Obviously, Kieran, the master of the rats,
the master. Full stop. Himself.
The master. Full
Until
stop.
Next week, at least, he is the master.
Lord it
Maybe
over
beyond.
everyone, my friend. While you can. I don't know. That sounded like a threat. I'm not doing anything. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that rounds off our list. In terms of let's go out there. Let's pick our top 3.
Blimey! I haven't thought about this.
I know. Okay. Neither have I. But we're not going to sit on the fence. We're going to pick our top 3.
All right. Okay. I'll go. I'm going to say 3rd place, Craig. 2nd place, Tanker. And 1st place, Ed. There you go.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That's some big hitters there, but yeah.
I think Kieran, because there was talk about him going back to ID because Vermin were rubbish, and then all of a sudden Vermin got an update and he's still on Vermin. So I think Vermin are quite strong. I'm going to say...
Don't be justifying anything. Just give us your names.
Yeah. So, all right. So, for names, for 3, out there, Elliot. I think he's going to...
I was tempted.
It's my favourite list. It's in there. Number 2 is going to be Kieran. Kieran's going to have another good year, I think. Or maybe, I don't know. But, yeah. Number 1.
You've said it now.
Because I want it to happen so much because I love the army, is Jack Austin.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think it's
interesting.
I don't fully get how it's going to punch their way through everything, but I love it so much. Has so many different moving parts that I think if he can make it work, I think that's it. And that concludes our list review. Thank you very much for joining, everybody.
You're welcome.
I guess yes, and you. The first thing first. Do you agree with our predictions? Crazy as they may be, do you agree with everything we said about all the lists? Is there anything that you think that we've missed? And obviously, you're more than welcome to.
Obviously, no.
Yeah.
But
so, who do you think will win? Whose list is your favourite that you've seen from the?
Has
list?
Mikey ever snuck up on you?
Has he? Yeah. Has he caught you out? You know. And otherwise, I think it's just a case of seeing you at the live stream. Of course, don't miss the live draw, or it won't be live, but the draw next week. Which is happening, and we'll go over to the schedule. There
it is.
There it is. There's the schedule. So the round 1 draw next week, where we will also be talking about the deployments and objectives for each round as well. So tune in for that. The live coverage, of course, throughout the whole weekend. It's our mammoth weekend of
it's 17 coverage. Hours last year. I don't know if we'll be more than that or less than that.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it lasts, but
very
we will go for it.
Using some top quality things. We should have 4 tables on the go.
Oh, don't!
Each round.
It blows my mind thinking about it.
How that'll work, I'm not sure. But even more exciting than that, we'll have Matty P and other guests on there from multiple characters from the Ninth Age and beyond. So do join in, be on the chat, like, share, subscribe, check out these other podcasts for interviews.
Yeah.
And all of that jazz.
And Happy New Year, everybody. Here is the Masters.
Yeah. We're here, we're back. We'll see you later.